Aquarius, how you doing? I got some messages for you here today. This was a cool one. I really enjoyed this one. I got a really healing, refreshing feeling from this one during your meditation. I saw this paper mache mask of it was like just a person's face. It was a really crude paper mache mask, and it crumbled, like it was really, really dry, and it just crumbled into powder. And beneath it was a human skull, but with a really big moth, just about the size of like the face, sitting on its forehead that was underneath this mask. And it was a very pretty moth. I don't know what kind of moth it was, but it had like some red and black circles on its wings, maybe a little bit of yellow in the middle, some gray, a lot of gray on the wings, and I think the wings were kind of outlined in black, something like that. I have no idea what kind of moth that is. And then this pink beam of light appeared, and I don't know if it was coming from below or from above. It just sort of appeared, and it was like a column of light, maybe 3 feet in diameter. And it surrounded the skull and the moth lifted up. But like, it didn't flap its wings and flap, it floated up off the skull. And then the moth transformed into a person, a human. I couldn't see any details on the human. It was just like a shadow, like a silhouette, floating within the pink beam. And kind of like Superman, or like a superhero, kind of just floating in place, right? You know, one knee kind of higher than the other, that superhero floating stance you see in comic books or movies and stuff. And it was really cool. It felt like just really refreshing and like clearing up stuff. I felt my sinuses actually kind of clear a little bit. And it was just very beautiful, this beautiful pink light. And I was reminded of a lot of paranormal experiences that I've studied, none that I've experienced, but I won't say it's common, but it's happened to a few people who have gained knowledge about a medical issue after they've been hit by a beam of pink light. Oh, not always a medical issue, but like knowledge about how to solve a problem. It was like a diagnosis type thing, and it could be physical, biological, or mental, or something you're working on. And the most famous person to have experienced this was science fiction author Philip K. Dick, who his infant child was really in a lot of pain and sick, and he and his wife didn't understand, and they took him to like 4 doctors, and the doctors couldn't figure it out, and he was just beside himself after a couple of days of this. And he went outside on his porch in, I think it was Santa Monica maybe, or Los Angeles, but anyway, he was just outside on his porch in the middle of the day and just absolutely like distraught, so stressed, like beyond miserable about his poor little boy. And he got hit in the face with a big pink beam of light that came from the sky. And he just heard this electronic sounding voice. This was in the 70s now. And he heard this electronic sounding voice in his head that just said inguinal hernia. And then he went back to the doctor he was just at and said, check for an inguinal hernia. And lo and behold, that is exactly what was wrong with his son. And they fixed him up, and he was good from that point forward. They figured it out, and it 100% solved the problem. There are other episodes of people being hit with pink light in times of serious distress, when they're just like at a loss of how to solve a particular problem. And the answer comes to them. It sometimes comes in the form of an electronic sounding voice. And that electronic sounding voice, you can read about it in like near-death experiences and stuff. It's really strange. We can theorize about that all day, but that's besides the point here. I bring it up because, not the voice, but the healing thing. Because I had that sense of like my sinuses cleared, I could breathe easier, I felt really great. I felt this like swell of nice warm energy that was like, it was like, oh man, I would love to just feel this for a little while longer. And it deep in the meditation. And it just felt like this is a problem-solving energy that if you are still, sit in some stillness right now, I think you'll get it, because then I pulled an I Ching hexagram for you, and I got hexagram 52, stillness. Is that 52? Yeah. With a changing line, that sixth line all the way at the top, changes to humbleness. So maybe the numbers 52 and 15 are significant. But here we have the elements that make up this hexagram are mountain on top of another mountain. This is just total stillness, right? This is the essence of meditation. This is the most meditative hexagram you can get in the I Ching, a mountain on a mountain. And it's about being unperturbed by what's going on around you, even being oblivious. In like certain states of meditation, you can become unaware of your surroundings, unaware. You can like no longer have physical sensation, no longer be aware of the passage of time. And a lot of healing can come in that moment, because you can spend a great deal of time in meditation when that sort of obliviousness happens. And, you know, the longer you spend in meditation, the better it is for you, usually. Not all the time. So I think you're being asked to meditate right now, to cultivate tranquility and stability and nourish your spirit. Because sitting still and nourishing the spirit is a form of advancement. We always have to rest. Rest, activity in this cycle. And so accept that cycle, accept it as necessary, sit in stillness, and there's a process here with this changing line, this sixth changing line. It connotes the whole process and purpose of meditation. So by keeping still, you learn how to attain calmness of mind. When you master calmness of mind, you are successful in having tranquil repose. When you are successful in having tranquil repose, you are able to deliberate carefully. When you deliberate carefully, you are then able to harvest what you really want. So this is about learning about what you really want in your life, taking the time to really decide, to consider all of your actions, imagine all of the possible results, all of the possible consequences. I mean, you're an Aquarius, you're really good at simulating things in your imagination, how things can work out. So now's the time to consider, like, if I do this, then what will happen? You know, what are some possibilities here? If I do this, how will it affect this person? How will it affect this outcome? How, you know, carefully deliberate, but really learn how to calm your mind. Do it in total tranquility and serenity, with sincerity and honesty. You have to be sincere and honest with yourself. This is crucial. You don't want to deceive yourself when doing this, because this is about you finding what you really, really want to do. So don't lie to yourself about it. Truly be honest, even if it's painful, even if it makes you feel selfish or makes you feel stupid or makes you feel like you're a bad person. You know, sometimes we have these desires and like, oh, people aren't supposed to want these things. Am I bad? Or, oh, I really want this, but does that make me selfish? It doesn't matter right now. You have to just figure it out. Don't think about the morality about it. Just think about if it's truly what you want or not, and how you can get it, or not necessarily how you can get it, because that can come in different ways as you walk the path. Your plans can change, but the goal remains the same. The process can change, but the harvest will still be there. How to get there can change from time to time. But determine what you really, really want with perfect tranquility and perfect sincerity. So maybe first you have to just learn how to clear your mind and go through the whole process, right? Sitting in stillness, learning how to calm your mind, mastering tranquil repose in that calm of mind, how to deliberate carefully, and what is the meaning of deliberating carefully? How are you simulating possibilities? How are you determining what you really, really want? I'll tell you what I want, what I really want. And then you will learn how to get it, how to harvest this goal, this objective, and which objectives are worth going after. Like, what is actually worth doing? That's what you're going to determine for yourself, is you're going to find what is actually worth my damn time and what isn't, and how do these things fit in my life, and how can I organize these things, give them their proper schedule and time frames, and get freaking going. Because the changing line at the 6th place, that's like this keeping still, it's not going to last that long. The epiphany is going to come, and you're going to be ready for advancement, right? The rest, advancement, rest, advancement. This rest period is probably going to be not very long, maybe even a few hours or just a few days. And it's going to, like, the pink beam is going to come and smack you in the face and be like, there's the solution. And every one of these pink beam experiences that I've read has been extraordinarily positive, has been the truth. It led, the idea that the person got was factual, and it solved their problem. And it was like something that a lot of these people spent the rest of their lives trying to understand what the hell the experience was. And most of them they never figured it out. They had theories upon theories upon theories. But it's, you know, something is melting away, something that doesn't serve you, some persona, some mask is gonna melt away. It's gonna reveal that moth, you know, that inner spirit of yours, that, you know, the moth and the moon are related, and the moon sort of symbolizes our subconscious and our inner life, and it's gonna be revealed to you. Your inner life is gonna be revealed. That subconscious part of yourself that's very, very powerful is going to be revealed by this pink light. And usually, like, the means of getting what we want are hidden in our subconscious. They're brought forth by doing what people today refer to as shadow work, or by looking within ourselves and finding out about our subconscious and what's in there. We find a lot of power. It's like St. George subduing the dragon, or Archangel Michael subduing the serpent. Like, the serpent is like our subconscious, and generally the symbol that you don't kill the serpent, you use it. There's a lot of power there. You just reveal it, and it stops being wild, and it stops being like this wild monster, and it starts to become your friend, and it starts to work for you, not against you. And we subdue this dragon just by having calmness of mind and putting our awareness on it. It's when we're unaware of our subconscious and what it's doing, that's when it acts out like a monster and gets us into trouble. But as soon as we put our consciousness on it, that monster is like, oh, finally, like, can we do something here with all this energy I have? That's why I'm breaking things around your house, because I just have so much energy. This energy's got to go somewhere. So, like, now that you know I exist, can we please do something useful? So a lot of the things that we don't like about ourselves and all these automatic reactions we have to stuff, it's because there's causes deep within our subconscious in there. And when we see them, then it's like, oh, you know what? I can use that for creative energy, for productive things, or for something else. It doesn't have to just sit on its own and expend its energy in destructive ways. I can now guide that energy, even if it's like a painful memory or a traumatic event or something kind of bad that we hid down there in our subconscious. It's still raw energy, and you can tap that raw energy, transmute it into doing anything you want with it. You can do something good with it. It's like fire, you know? You can use a fire unchecked and untamed, and it can be very destructive. But if you can learn how to use that fire and cook a meal or create a tool, you know, forge some metal. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with fire, and it's just a raw element. That's the same thing with a lot of our subconscious energy. We have these things from our past that hurt us or bummed us out, or that we repressed or whatever, and then they become like an untamed, unlooked after fire. So it's time to look at that fire and figure out, you know, how can I use it? What's worth doing here and what's not? And do the things worth doing. So I'm going to pull some cards for you and develop this reading, Aquarius. Let's see what part of life we should focus on. What does Aquarius need to know? The symbol for Orifiel. I think some might refer to him as Phanuel. I think some might refer to him as Cassiel, if I'm not mistaken. No, is that? Well, anyway, the planetary spirit of Saturn. Orifiel and Phanuel. I have a little downturned scythe here. Like the scythe that is ready to reap a harvest. Interesting, because in the I Ching, in the Yao text, they use the term harvest, determining, or what was it? Careful deliberation allows you to harvest what you want. So here, I think you're close to harvesting what you want, or at least knowing how to harvest what you want, learning how to do it. You know, Orifiel, the planetary spirit of Saturn, I really vibe with this guy, like, strongly. He's kind of, he looks out for those seeking salvation. He you know, he helps people get rid of the things that cause them suffering, you know, and can liberate the soul. That scythe can be a symbol for sort of like, well, in the Hindu or the Vedantic tradition, there's this idea of plucking the cucumber out of the garden, you know, off the vine when it's ready to go, when it's ripe and ready. That's like plucking the spirit out of the body. Not saying you're going to die, and not saying, it's a crude analogy, but it's the idea of expanding your spirit beyond its boundaries and limitations. Because Saturn sets boundaries and limitations. He's the god of borders, right? Borders and boundaries, which means he's also the guy who expands them. So a lot of people don't like Saturn because he put limits on me. He's restraining me. Yeah, but he's also the guy who's going to stop restraining you once you're prepared. You know, a lot of the time, children complain that their parents put them in a playpen. Yeah, it's because there's electrical outlets and hot stoves and sharp corners on coffee tables. Stay in the damn playpen, man. But I think your playpen's about to open up. I think you are achieving this spiritual maturity where your sovereignty is going to be expanded, like your sovereign realm, your kingdom, is going to have its borders expanded. You're going to conquer some new territory here. And you're going to harvest what you want, or you're going to learn how. So we have the King of Cups. I thought that was a sickle on his arm. It's a snake, though. Kind of shaped like a sickle or a scythe. The King of Cubes. So this guy's got, is that a cobra? Yeah. You know that analogy of the cucumber, plucking the cucumber out of the garden? That's actually a mantra about Shiva. Chayambakam yajamahe sugandim pushtavardanan urvikad bandhanan mrityormukchaya amritat. Right, and what that means is, I worship the three-eyed one. Please pluck me like the cucumber out of the garden and basically bring me spiritual enlightenment. That's kind of the rough English translation of that. And Shiva is seen oftentimes with the cobra wrapped around his left arm. Interesting. And he also has a lotus flower, a little white lotus flower there near his left hand. Strangely Vedantic artwork here. And so this is a Piscean card, a Scorpion card, Scorpio card, and basically this is a guy who is like really in control of his emotions. This guy is tranquility itself. That is, yeah. The King of Cups knows how to sit in stillness and master tranquility and serenity of mind, and he prefers honesty, especially emotional honesty, because that can be a difficult form of honesty, because emotions can cloud judgment sometimes. Good emotions or bad, it doesn't matter. Judgment can be clouded by emotions, and it's not that emotions are bad, but when we need careful deliberation, controlling those emotions, sublimating them into useful energy, can facilitate calmness of mind. It's It's that raw energy that you can choose to use to make your mind calm. If you sort of bring that energy up into your brain space, into like your third eye or your crown space, and feel that emotional energy just swimming and nourishing your brain space, you can like basically wash thoughts away. If you can think of that emotional energy as like a powerful, cleaning, warm water that washes around your headspace and flushes out back down and just flushes out all your thoughts back into like the earth, right? Or back into the universal infinite water element of space around you. So, you know, don't keep the water in there. It's important if you do this visualizing practice to wash out your brain, wash out your thoughts, and then dissipate the water. Make sure it flushes away or dissipates back. Don't keep the water in your brain. That goes with any elemental practice. Putting elemental energies into your brain is generally supposed to be very temporary, very quick, and can't stay there. They have to leave. So make sure you imagine them dissipating after they cleanse you. And this King of Cups, his throne is like a chariot. He's got wheels on the side there. And yet he is the master of sitting in stillness. The King of Cups is a very, very meditative card. It's a bit congruent with the Four of Swords in many ways. And it's kind of like he's able to move without moving, you know? That's sort of the symbolism here. Like the throne with the wheels on it. It's moving without moving. So stillness as a form of advancement. And when you feel that, stillness isn't a waste of time. These meditations are not a waste of your time. They're very, very important and very, very useful. You'll enjoy it much more. You'll want to do it much more. And it will be much more effective when you consider this cultivating stillness of mind to be a useful form of advancement. All right, I'm going to pull another card for you here. You know, like this coming out on that Saturnian Oriphael spirit or aspect here is like a mature energy, like a mature ability to take meditation seriously or to take deliberation and thinking things through very seriously, like you know, really using the expansive side of Saturn, the part that, you know, expands the borders, to give your emotions room to breathe within yourself. You might feel that your emotions are constrained and then you have to keep them all bottled up, but you can imagine that even within you there's an infinite universe. There's no bottling up. If it feels like you're bottling up, just expand whatever imaginary borders are within your soul. And you can keep the emotions within you, but they can go anywhere in the infinite universe that is within you. You have an entire universe inside of you for these emotions to expand and go wherever they want and to nourish different parts of you. So like if you're feeling bottled up or compressed, you're really not. That's just an illusion. Your borders, your inner borders are infinite, absolutely infinite. And you can use that emotional energy within you. And it can stay within you. It doesn't have to necessarily be expressed, although it can be. That could be part of expansing of borders, is expressing it with your human communicative capabilities and maybe creating something, maybe having a good conversation with someone or getting something off your chest. That could also be it. But the point is you're not trapped within yourself. Even if you have to remain within yourself, you're not trapped there. Or if you're going to express them in the 3D physical world, you can do that too. And it will be cathartic. Dubium, or doubt. Interesting. Yeah, you might be doubting yourself, thinking, you've probably begun this process of thinking about what you really want, what I really, really want. And you might be doubting a few things. You could be doubting your capability of how to get what you want. Oh, look, there's another snake. wrapped around this like rooster guy. A lot of snake energy here. But you could be doubting your own ability to know what you want. You could be doubting your ability to achieve what you want if you do know what it is. You could be doubting the efficacy of meditation and sitting in stillness, doubting your ability to know how to find what you want. You could be doubting a lot of things, especially when we're dealing with our desires, the lifestyle we want to live, the goals we want to achieve. I mean, we can be racked with doubts. Like there's always a million ways, there's always a million reasons not to do something, right? So maybe like don't think of those. There's always going to be any number of reasons not to do something. It's generally useless to think of why you shouldn't do something. It's because you can always come up with a new reason why you shouldn't. Oh, if I do it, I could stub my toe on a rock if I do that, so I'm not going to do that. I might get a sour stomach. I don't think I'm going to do it. You know, there's so many stupid little things we can come up with. So it's in my experience, it's better to think of the reasons why you should do it. You only need one good one, you know? You only need one good reason why you should do something to give you the motivation to do it. Now imagine if you could think of 2 or 3 or 4 good reasons to do something. And in careful deliberation and stillness of mind, you'll probably think of many. So, yeah, this doubt here, it's like, you know, there's just a little something clouding your vision, some splinter sticking in your eye here, right? But yeah, that's like, Arithiel here is kind of like that Ganesh spirit, if you know about the Vedantic tradition with the elephant deity, his job is to clear obstacles and let you see. So maybe use some Ganesh energy. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. That's a good mantra to just help clear obstacles. I use it all the time when I feel stuck, and I meditate with that mantra, just repeat it, turn it into a song and sing it for a while. And it banishes a lot of obstacles, and it helps me see a little bit more clearly. Maybe that pink light has something to do with Ganesh and getting rid of obstacles and obscurations in how we see and providing us with clarity. And those things seem to be commensurate. Ganesha and the pink beam of light. There seems to be a relation there of how to just unblock something to gain insight, truthful, solution-oriented insight. So yeah, I'm getting this idea of like, don't doubt. Just stop doubting. Arithiel is like, you don't have to doubt. You know, I'll take care of that doubt. I'll cut that doubt away with my scythe. That doubt is useless. So I'm going to pull a token for you, Aquarius. One last thing to round out this reading. Got the King of Cups, we got doubt, we got Arithiel, we got keeping still. Two wanted to come out. Huh! One of them is the elephant. Look at that guy. The pachyderm. And the number 3. And then we got one of the aspects of a human being, or thinking. How perfect. So, yeah, I recommend Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Just chant that for a while. Or if you're not into chanting mantras, if you're a little spooked or weirded out by that sort of thing, just think about how elephants, how nothing can get in their way. They smush bushes, they knock down trees, they can just walk through brick walls like they're made out of freaking toilet paper. You know, like nothing can stop your thoughts from gaining clarity. Just know that, understand that if there's obscuration in your thoughts or doubts, you got the elephant energy supporting you. You've got that Ganesha energy supporting you, and those obstacles don't stand a chance against the clarity that you're about to have, and your ability to gain that clarity. Nothing can stop it. You're gonna gain that clarity. You're going to have clear thoughts about all of this. You just have to want to have clear thoughts and be honest with yourself that this is what you want. And now let me see what I want. please reveal to me. Get rid of all the obscurations in my life, in my mind, in my heart, and just let me see what it is I actually want. Look within yourself. What do I want? What is worth pursuing? And get into that headspace with sincerity and tranquility, and all the obscurations will vanish, and you will have super clear thoughts. Like, just the most vivid clarity will come to you soon as these doubts are just brushed away and these obscurations are trampled under the foot of your elephant energy. So Aquarius, I think that's where I'm going to leave it for you today. I think that's all the Oracle and I have. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I always appreciate you stopping by. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you next time.